Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call the Operations Committee meeting of Tuesday, May 14th, 2024 for the County of Renfrew to order at 1:10 p.m. As we gather here this afternoon, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of Council and our community that we're meeting on the traditional territory of the First Nations. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. We're extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. Has roll call been taken?
Yes, thank you, Chair, and we have quorum.
Thank you. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest in the general nature thereof? Seeing none, I'll move on to the adoption of the minutes of a previous meeting held on April 9th. Can I have a mover, please? Moved by member from Laurentian Valley, seconded by the member from Arnprior. Comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's carried. We will now move on. I didn't have any delegations. Public Works and Engineering and the department report. Mr. Perkins.
Yes, thank you, Chair, and good afternoon, committee. My report starts on page 7. So item 1 is as attached is the Treasurer's report. Item 2 is the monthly program status report. Item 3 is the capital program variance report as attached as Appendix 3. Item 4 is speeding concerns, County Road 52, Raglan Street South. So attached as Appendix 4 is a letter from the town of Renfrew expressing concerns about speeding along County Road 52, Raglan Street South. Staff will follow up and discuss enhanced traffic devices that could be deployed. Number 5 is the pedestrian crossing for County Road 37, Murphy Road. Attached as Appendix 5 is a resolution from the town of Petawawa approving the installation of a pedestrian crossing at the intersection of County Road 37 and Nuthatch Drive / Roy Street. As per county policy PW14, pedestrian crossings and hiking trail crossings on county roads. The proposed crossing is a capital expense and a municipal responsibility. The County of Renfrew shall be responsible for the costs associated with the annual operation and maintenance of the pedestrian crossing and signage, and the local municipality shall be responsible for the annual pavement markings associated with the crossing. A recommendation will be presented at a future meeting once the Public Works and Engineering Department staff completes their review. Item 6 is the Canadian Public Works Association and the American Public Works Association. So I had the pleasure of attending 2 events. One was the Canadian Public Works Association meeting in Ottawa. So that's a meeting of all the public works officials from across Canada. So there's 6 of us that we do advocacy for public works in Canada. So we met with a number of senior staff with the federal government, and also we had the pleasure of meeting with our MPP, Ms. Gallant. So that was exciting, and I attached it as Appendix 6 for if you want to read. And also I attended the North American Snow Conference in Kansas City, Missouri. And so there's a whole list of the programs that I undertook while I was there. So if you would like to read through it, it's there for your leisure. And I'll leave it there till go for resolutions, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Perkins. So we'll go back to item number 1, the Treasurer's report. We'll see that we're under budget in most areas. Nothing. The item number 2, the monthly project status report. Comments. Item number 3, the capital program variance report. Item number 4, the letter from the town of Renfrew with respect to the speeding concerns on County Road 52, Raglan Street South. Item number 5, the pedestrian crossing at Murphy Road, and I'm assuming that will be completed after the rehabilitation of Murphy Road. Anything else? Item number 6, the brief report from the director on his activities at those two meetings, the Canadian Public Works Association, American Public Works Association. Comments or questions? Seeing none, we'll move on to resolutions. Mr. Perkins.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Item 7 is the Association of Municipalities Ontario Conference delegation request. And I'll read the recommendation and get it on the floor. The recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends that after a review of the current state of public works issues, staff submit delegation requests at the upcoming Association of Municipalities of Ontario Conference that are consistent with the 2023-2026 County of Renfrew Strategic Plan, current initiatives that require further advocacy, and previous delegations that addressed funding shortfalls.
Thank you for that. Can I get a mover and seconder, please? Moved by the member from Madawaska Valley, seconded by the member from McNabb Braeside. Comments, questions? Seeing none.
The background?
Oh, Mr.
Sorry.
Are you going to give background, or because
Yeah, I was going to do the background.
Oh, sure.
I was going to have a comment after you to give background.
Okay,
I
sorry.
wasn't going to, but okay.
Thank you, Chair. The
Yeah.
background here is
Sorry.
staff is reviewing all options within the Public Works and Engineering scope and may submit a request to have a delegation at the upcoming Association of Municipalities of Ontario Conference, including the following potential request. So the County of Renfrew has a shovel-ready Class A estimate project for a roundabout on County Road 51, Petawawa Boulevard, in the town of Petawawa. This project has been added to the County of Renfrew's asset management plan as an unfunded project. The opportunity to discuss this important transportation infrastructure improvement with ministry officials would be advantageous. Thank you.
Okay, seeing that, any comments or questions? Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. The only other comment I had, and I made it to one other committee, but for the benefit of this one, is that we are intending to go to Queen's Park on May 27th, and it's in 2 weeks' time with items of advocacy. So we have left this recommendation fairly open-ended and using some examples, but whatever we find out or don't find out on May 27th may dictate what we will be further advocating for in August. However, the deadline to submit these delegation requests is June 4th, so we've left it again open-ended to allow some variance and some nimbleness, if you will. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. As we still have the ongoing issue of 417 expansion, province-wide PCI. Member from Laurentian Valley.
Just while the Association of Municipalities is up, I'm just wondering, for the one in August, if you could even mention Highway 17. It is part of the Trans-Canada Highway, and it's getting to be in bad shape. So,
Sure, Mr. Kelly.
Thank you. So through you, Chair, so part of our advocacy on May 27th is further expanding. So let me back up a slight bit. Can't remember if we did it with AMO, but for sure Roma, we went into the delegation, actually it was a post-delegation meeting with the associate minister or the assistant minister to the MTO and Ministry of Infrastructure on the next phases of Highway 17. So our local MPP suggests that Highway 17 is now been taken care of up into Renfrew. So our newest approach, and I think committee's heard this, is an approach that will be from kind of Meath Hill, just outside of Pembroke, to Deep River area as a second phase of approach or second phase of advocacy. And that would include looking at our intersections, which may include overpasses and or roundabouts or alternative solutions for six intersections, I think, north of Meath Hill, 5 or 6 or something like that between Meath Hill and Deep River. And looking at the 2+1, which is the alternative lane, and then just those are alternative solutions should they choose not to expand it to twinned. I mean, obviously everybody wants a twinned, but if not, then what? So we're just providing the then what to that. So it's on the radar for sure.
Thank you. Anything further on the AMO delegation potential? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? That's carried, and we shall move on to the Capital Works Division report. Can be found on page 20. Mr. Hanrath.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Good afternoon, everyone. Item number 1 is an information item, the monthly construction update. The Public Works and Engineering Department will be issuing public notices monthly throughout 2024 to provide updates on upcoming, ongoing, or completed construction projects on the county's transportation infrastructure. The May project update is posted on Zen City, the county website, social media, and was emailed to County Council, county staff, and the local municipal public works staff. And I'll pause there, Chair, before moving on to resolutions.
Thank you for that. Any comments, questions on item number 1? Seeing none, we'll, is that the only information item? Okay. So do I need a resolution for that or just go on? No. Okay. So now we'll get to the fun part. Mr. Enrap.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 2 is PWC 2024-38, Contract Administration and Supervision Services for Rehabilitation of County Structure B181, Peter Blackbridge. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee approve proposal PWC 2024-38 as submitted by WSP Canada Incorporated to Ottawa, Ontario for contract administration and construction supervision services for the rehabilitation of County Structure B181, Peter Blackbridge, in the amount of $125,881.70 plus applicable taxes, and that a professional services agreement be executed and a purchase order be issued for the services.
Can I get a mover and seconder for the recommendation? Moved by the member from Laurentian Valley, seconded by the member from McNabb Braeside. Some background, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. As committee may recall, the construction contract for this one has been or is in the process of being awarded, and the consultant firm WSP Canada completed the design for the assignment. Part of the RFP for those initial services did identify the need for a follow-on contract for contract administration and construction supervision services. This is that follow-on contract. We would propose a direct assignment for the follow-on contract because it would be a higher cost to bring someone else in and have to go back if there's any request for information or design changes throughout the project.
Thank you for that. Anything further on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is carried. Number 3.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 3 is PWC 2024-40, Contract Administration and Supervision Services for the rehabilitation of County Structure C204, Bellows Creek Culvert. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee approve proposal PWC 2024-40 as submitted by WSP Canada Incorporated, Ottawa, Ontario, for contract administration and construction supervision services for the rehabilitation of County Structure C204, Bellows Creek Culvert, in the amount of $108,598.45 plus applicable taxes, and that a professional services agreement be executed and a purchase order be issued for the services.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder for the recommendation. Moved by the member from Armpire, seconded by the member from Madawaska Valley. Same background, I'm assuming, but go ahead.
Correct, Chair. Similar background to the last item. Construction contract has already been awarded. WSP completed the design, and this is a follow-on contract, which was identified as potential in the initial RFP.
Thank you for that. Just a question. I have one question. Our general practice is to award a construction contract and then go back out with the contract administration after the fact. And generally we award it to the company that designed it. So why don't we just do this all in one tender?
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. It's done this way for the rare instances where we don't go with the design consultant. It's only happened, I believe, twice in my time here. But on those rare instances, this gives us the flexibility to issue an RFP to potentially bring on a different consultant that then design the project. And it also gives us a chance to update based on any changes that happened from before the design started to after it was completed. For instance, a longer construction period than initially anticipated.
Okay, thank you for that. Anything further on number 3? All those in favor? That is carried. We'll move on to item number 4.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 4 is Arnprior Station Rest Stop, and the recommendation is that the Operations Committee support the Town of Arnprior with the proposed construction of a rest stop at Arnprior Station along Algonquin Trail at its John Street North intersection.
Thank you for that. Can I get a mover and seconder? Moved by the member from Arnprior, seconded by the member from Laurentian Valley. And some background.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. This item has been brought forward from the Recreational Trails Advisory Committee. Attached as Appendix CW1 is a resolution from the Town of Arnprior in support of construction of a rest stop at the Arnprior Station, which is located north of the intersection of Algonquin Trail with John Street in the Town of Arnprior. County staff have reviewed the location as well as the design concept and see no concerns with it. The town of Renfrew is proceeding with the works on a volunteer basis. There should be no cost to the county as a result, although we may assist with locates and things like that as part of the project.
Thank you for that. Any comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is carried. And we will move on to bylaws.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 5 is the Recreational Trails Governing Bylaw, and the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends that County Council adopt a bylaw to regulate and govern the use of the lands identified as County of Renfrew recreational trails as linear parks, and that bylaw 119-18 be repealed.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from Renfrew, seconded by the member from McNabb Braeside. The background.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. As committee may recall, a new bylaw to govern the county's recreational trails was presented for input at the April meetings of the Trails Advisory Committee, the Development and Property Committee, as well as County Council. Some input was received on the bylaw, however, no changes were requested. There were some minor adjustments made to the fines and things like that, but overall, the bylaw was as presented at that time. The Recreational Trails Advisory Committee at their meeting on May 9th recommended that the Operations Committee proceed with the new bylaw.
Thank you for that. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is carried. Just a quick note. I was under the impression that I was added as the chair of operations to the Trails Advisory Committee, but I didn't know anything about that meeting, so Mr. Kelly.
Thank you, Chair. So you've noticed an anomaly that we didn't take care of in the Standing Committee. So Councillor Brose is still named in the Standing Committee bylaw as the chair.
Okay.
The terms of reference for the Recreational Trails Committee suggest that a member from this committee, Operations Committee, be appointed to the Trails Committee as the chair, and is typically the chair. So we have to do some housekeeping.
Okay. I don't need to be on another committee, but if I'm supposed to be,
Well,
then
either
I
we
will.
update the terms of reference or we update the Standing Committee. So
Sure.
whichever is easier, we'll have to. Either way, there's some housekeeping to be done.
Yeah, sounds good. Okay, we'll move on to item number 6.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 6 is PWC 2024-01, County Road 1, River Road Rehabilitation. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends that County Council approve contract PWC 2024-01 as submitted by Bonisher Excavating Incorporated, Renfrew, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 1, River Road, from Poole Street to Dockard Street, a distance of 2.3 kilometers in the township of McNabb Braeside, and from Algonquin Trail to the Bonisher River, a distance of 1.88 kilometers in the township of Horton, in the amount of $1,564,525.20, plus applicable taxes, and that County Council adopt a bylaw to execute the contract.
Thank you. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from Madawaska Valley, seconded by the member from Laurentian Valley. And the details.
Thank you, Chair. I'll attempt to summarize the background here. So a request for tenders was issued for the rehabilitation project. It is stretched over 2 separate sections of County Road 1, River Road. As you can see, 4 submissions were received, and they are relatively competitive with one another. Budget-wise, both sections came in under budget. The first section from Moore Street to Dockard Street is approximately $64,000 under budget, while the section from Algonquin Trail to Bonisher River is just over $235,000 under budget. The combined budget for the 2 sections of road included in the project is $2.061 million. Staff confirmed that there are sufficient funds in the 2024 capital budget for the projects.
Thank you for that. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is carried. Item number 7.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 7 is PWC 2024-19, County Road 19, Mud Lake Road Rehabilitation. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends that County Council approve contract PWC 2024-19 as submitted by Walker Construction Limited, Niagara Falls, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 19, Mud Lake Road, from County Road 24, Whitewater Road, to Pembroke South Limit, south city limit, a distance of approximately 5 kilometers in the township of Laurentian Valley in the amount of $747,507 plus applicable taxes, and that County Council adopt a bylaw to execute the contract.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from McNabb Braeside, seconded by the member from Arnprior. So the details.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee, I'll attempt to summarize some of the background for this one as well. So a request for tender was issued. This is another project that we are going for with the stress-absorbing membrane interlayer, or SAMI. So whereby a tack coat is applied, a wire mesh is applied, and then another tack coat is applied. And in this case, there'll be a single surface treatment going over top of that. So this is a supplement to a microsurfacing or a single surface treatment. But the purpose of the SAMI layer is to prevent the reflection cracking from coming through as quick as it does. And as you can see, we received 3 bids on the project. Overall, they're quite competitive, and we are slightly under budget by approximately $66,000 on this project.
Well, thank you for that. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is carried. We'll move on to item number 8.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee, item number 8 is PWC 2024-30, County Road 30, Lake Dory Road Rehabilitation. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends the County Council approve contract PWC 2024-30 as submitted by Bonisher Excavating Incorporated, Renfrew, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 30, Lake Dory Road, from Spurberg Road to Trailblazers Road, a distance of 2.28 kilometers, in the township of North Algona, Wilberforce, in the amount of $1,372,377.04, plus applicable taxes, and that County Council adopt a bylaw to execute the contract.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from Laurentian Valley, seconded by the member from Madawaska Valley. Background.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. So a request for tenders was issued for the rehabilitation of this section of Lake Dory Road. We received 3 bids, all of which were relatively competitive and comparable with one another. Unfortunately, on this one, we came in approximately $400,000 over budget. Staff have reviewed the tender, and it is still competitive. Part of the reason this one came in further over is the extensive need for culvert works, as well as steel beam guide rail along the section of road. However, the surpluses on other projects should make up the overage on this one.
Thank you for that. Comments or questions? Member from Arnprior.
Thank you, Chair. You mentioned culverts. Could our day crew be working on that, or are they?
Mr. Henrath.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to the Councillor from the town of Arnprior. They are doing a couple of them. It was just the quantity of culverts, less so than the depth on them.
Anything further? Seeing none, I'll call a question. All those in favor? That's carried. Item number 9, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 9 is PWC 2024-64, contract extension, rehabilitation of County Road 64, Opeonka Road. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends the County Council amend Bylaw 2424, being a bylaw for execution of contract PWC 2024-64, County Road 64, Opeonka Road rehabilitation, to approve an extension to the project limits to a maximum amount of $1.4 million, and that the funds to be taken from the current surplus in the 2024 capital works budget.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from Madawaska Valley, seconded by the member from Arnprior. Some background, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. There is a lengthy background for this one, but I will attempt to summarize it. So right now in our capital variance report, committee may see that we have a surplus of approximately $2.76 million. However, if you remove the carryover projects from that amount, we're seeing a savings on our capital program on projects that are being completed this year of approximately $1.6 million projected for the 2024 capital program. So as a result, staff have gone back to our projects to review any that have potential for extension. And this section of County Road 64, by extending in either direction, would be in the similar condition to the section that's currently being worked on. And by extending by the 1.4 million being requested, we would be able to complete approximately another 5.5 kilometers of the road. And I'll pause there, Chair.
Okay, comments or questions? Member from Arnprior.
Thank you, Chair. It just appears the savings we're getting on our asphalt with this addition with the current cost, we don't know what it is next year, so we're definitely in favor of carrying on. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you for that. Yeah, I'll wait till the end. Anything further? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's carried. Move on to item number 10.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 10 is PWC 2024-65, County Road 65 Centennial Lake Road Rehabilitation. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends that County Council approve contract PWC 2024-65 as submitted by 1956466 Ontario Incorporated, also known as JWK Contracting, Pembroke, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 65 Centennial Lake Road from Brewham/Matawacha Township line to civic address 2872, a distance of 2.23 kilometers in the township of Greater Madawaska in the amount of $867,248.63 plus applicable taxes, and that County Council adopt a bylaw to execute the contract.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from McNabb Braeside, seconded by the member from Arnprior. And some details, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee, a request for tenders was issued for this rehabilitation project. As committee can see, we received 6 bids, all of which were relatively competitive. Overall, including the close cut clearing contract that is now completed on this section of road, we are approximately $98,000 over budget on this one. However, even with this taken into consideration, it is covered by the surplus, even considering the extension that's been proposed lately as well. And I'll stop there, Chair.
Comments or questions, member from Arnprior?
Thank you, Chair. This is the first time I've heard of the JWK Contracting. Have we used them in the past?
Mr. Henrath.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to the councillor from the town of Arnprior. Yes, they've completed a number of projects for us. In the last 2 to 3 years is when they've started completing some of our contracts.
I believe we've used them in Deep River too, I think. Anyway. Anything further? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is carried. Item number 11.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 11 is PWC 2024-70, County Road 70, Ruby Road Rehabilitation. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends the County Council approve contract PWC 2024-70 as submitted by 1956466 Ontario Incorporated, also known as JWK Contracting, Pembroke, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 70, Ruby Road, from County Road 512, Brudenell Road to Gorman Road, a distance of 4.28 kilometers in the township of Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards in the amount of $1,192,373.78 plus applicable taxes, and that County Council adopt a bylaw to execute the contract.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from Laurentian Valley, seconded by the member from McNabb Braeside. Some details, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee, a request for tenders was issued for this rehabilitation project. As you can see, we received 5 bids, all of which were relatively competitive, especially the top 4. Overall for the project, we're projecting to be $35,000 under budget for this one. So staff confirmed that there are sufficient funds allocated in the 2024 capital budget for the project as tendered.
Thank you for that. Comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is carried. Item number 12.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 12 is PWC 2024-03, County Road 508, Calabogie Road Rehabilitation. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends the County Council approve contract PWC 2024-03 as submitted by McRae Excavating Limited, Pembroke, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Road 508, Calabogie Road, from Stacey Drive to Goshen Road, a distance of 4.02 kilometers in the township of McNabb Braeside in the amount of $1,338,036 plus applicable taxes, and that County Council adopt a bylaw to execute the contract.
Can I get a mover and seconder for the recommendation? Moved by Ward Nemo, seconded by member from Madawaska Valley. And some details, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee, a request for tenders was issued for this rehabilitation project. 5 bids were received, and as committee can see, they're relatively competitive with one another. Overall, for the project, we're projecting to be approximately $500,000 under budget, and staff confirmed that there are sufficient funds to complete the project as tendered.
Thank you. Comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is carried. Item number 13.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee, item number 13 is PWC 2024-28, County Structure B108, Traymore Bridge Rehabilitation. The recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends that County Council approve contract PWC 2024-28 as submitted by DW Building Restoration Services Incorporated, Ottawa, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Structure B108, Traymore Bridge, located on Traymore Road, approximately 350 meters north of County Road 58, Round Lake Road, in the township of Killaloe, Hegarty, and Richards, in the amount of $467,748, plus applicable taxes, and that County Council adopt a bylaw to execute the contract.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member, Ward Nemo, seconded by member from McNabb Brayside. Some background, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee, a request for tenders was issued for this rehabilitation project. As committee can see, 5 bids were received, and the top 4 were relatively competitive, with one outlier in the 5th position. As committee can see, we're projecting to be approximately $170,000 over budget on this one. That is primarily due to the fact that we initially budgeted as a deck replacement for this project. However, the consultant recommended proceeding with some steel repairs as well. This would allow for an additional, as opposed to a 5 to 10 year service life, it'd be a 10 to 15 year service life, and potentially the lifting of the load posting that's on the structure as well. And I'll pause there, Chair, to see if there's any questions about this one.
Thank you for that. Any comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? That's carried. Item number 14, please.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 14 is PWC 2024-68, County Structure C268, St. Columkille's Culvert Rehabilitation. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends that County Council approve contract PWC 2024-68 as submitted by Dalcon Constructors Limited, Ottawa, Ontario, for the rehabilitation of County Structure C268, St. Columkille's Culvert, located on County Road 58, Round Lake Road, approximately 50 meters south of TV Tower Road, in the township of Laurentian Valley, in the amount of $262,712 plus applicable taxes, and that County Council adopt a bylaw to execute the contract.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from Madawaska Valley, and seconded by the member from Laurentian Valley. Details.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee, a request for tenders was issued for this rehabilitation project. As committee can see, 4 bids were received, the top 3 of which were very competitive with one another. As committee can see from the variance table for this project, we're projecting to be approximately $528,000 under budget for this one. This is because we initially budgeted the project as a major rehab project. However, the consultant recommended earlier this year to proceed with more of a minor rehab. It would still get us the 15-year service life as opposed to a 20-year service life if we were to spend the full amount of the budget.
Interesting. Comments, questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is carried. We'll move on to item number 15.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 15 is off-road vehicles on County of Renfrew roads. And the recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends the County Council adopt a bylaw to regulate the operation of off-road vehicles on County of Renfrew roads, to update restrictions for off-road vehicles, and that bylaws 7-21, 56-23, and 77-23 be rescinded.
Thank you for that. Mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from Arnprior, seconded by the member from McNabb Brayside. And some details.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. So the county has received a request from the town of Petawawa, which is attached as Appendix CW2, to update restrictions for off-road vehicles along our county roads located within the town, and listed in the County of Renfrew bylaw number 7-21, being a bylaw to regulate the operation of off-road vehicles on County of Renfrew roads. The effect of the amendment would permit off-road vehicles on the following sections of county roads in the town of Petawawa. County Road 25, Laurentian Drive, from 333 Laurentian Drive to the County Road 51, Petawawa Boulevard. County Road 26, Doran Road, from Evergreen Drive to Ackery Road. County Road 51, Petawawa Boulevard, crossing at County Road 25, Laurentian Drive. County Road 51, Petawawa Boulevard, crossing at Radke Road / Airport Road. County Road 51, Petawawa Boulevard, crossing at Golf Course Road, Beeline Road. And County Road 26, Doran Road, crossing at Airport Road. Staff have reviewed the request and are in support of the proposal.
Comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor? That is carried. Item number 16.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. Item number 16 is County Road 512, Foymount Road, property purchase amendments. The recommendation is that the Operations Committee recommends that County Council amend bylaw 1623, being a bylaw to acquire lands on County Road 512, Foymount Road, for the following listed properties. Parts 1 and 2 on Plan 49R 20185 from Robert and Cecilia Bulow in the sum of $2,259.53, and Parts 1 and 2 on Plan 49R 20183 from David Hoy in the sum of $2,000, and that the properties described be dedicated as part of the public highway upon registration of the transfer documents.
Thank you for that. I thought we were done with these, but mover and seconder, please. Moved by the member from Madawaska Valley, seconded by the member from Arnprior, and some details.
Thank you, Chair. Through you to committee. So this item is a bit of cleanup on the previous bylaw. One of the properties, the property for the Bulows, had the incorrect sum of money on the initial bylaw, so we are correcting that with this one. And the other property for David Hoy, the agreement with Mr. Hoy expired, and he came back and renegotiated for a higher amount. This is also to compensate for some damages that occurred during construction, which we're working through with the contractor as well.
Okay, thank you for that. Any comments or questions? Member from Arnprior.
Thank you, Chair. To echo your comment, are we finished with those guys now?
Mr. Hanrath.
Through you, Chair, to the councillor from the town of Arnprior, the county's lawyer, or the county's representative, is still working through some of the transfers. However, the majority have been completed now.
Anything further? Seeing none, all those in favor? And that is carried. Now we will move on to the, what are we moving on to? The Operations Division report. Mr. Bolduc.
Thank you, Chair Doncaster. I present the Operations Division report for May. Under information, item number 1 is winter operations. Looks like winter has finally broken. The temperatures are coming up. It's fairly light winter. As you can see from Table 1, it provides a summary of winter events, material usage, and precipitation. It was a light winter. Gave us the opportunity to do a lot more brushing this winter, so we did accomplish quite a bit of brushing just for information. Appendix OP1 also provides a 5-year summary for comparison purposes. Table 2 outlines the significant weather events declared for this past 2023-2024 winter season. So there's 7 listed here, and it's approximately half the amount from if you compare it to the last few years. Item number 2, street sweeping for the intersections. Staff is continuing to proceed with sweeping operations throughout the county for the intersections, and for information, the street sweeper reported last month they are in the process of completing all the sweeping throughout the county, and they'll move on to the lower tiers shortly. Item number 3 is fleet management. Item A is the wheeled excavator. So we were lucky enough to obtain delivery of the new CAT wheeled excavator. It came with a mulcher head, a forestry mulcher head, and a ditching bucket. Staff have been orientated to the new equipment. We're finalizing some of the PDI requirements, and it should be on the road starting next week. Item B is the light-duty pickup truck. We received one of the last 7, and that is from Surgeon Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac out of Ottawa. And the final truck was purchased on behalf of the Development and Property Department, and I believe it's been put into service. The dual drum vibratory roller, item number C. We also received delivery of that unit. It's a CAT unit. It's from Canada, Ontario, and it's finishing PDI and placed into service. Item number 4 is quotations and tenders. So the following tenders have already been awarded under the authority of the Director of Public Works and Engineering or the Chief Administrative Officer. And the procurements have followed the process set out in Policy GA01. Staff confirm that there are sufficient funds to complete the purchases, and all the amounts exclude applicable taxes. Item A is PWO 2024-02, street sweeping for the urban areas. Alan McCoy Contracting Incorporated from Stittsville, Ontario, in the amount of $84,824.58. And for your information, the County of Renfrew share is $36,300 of that amount. And some great news, the townships of Edmonton, Bromley, Laurentian Valley, and Whitewater Region participated in that tender. So that would make up the balance of the funds. And typically their streets are followed up after the counties are complete. Item B is PWO 2024-03, maintenance hole and catch basin cleaning. Excite Enterprises of Eastern Ontario Incorporated from Arnprior, Ontario. It was awarded to them for $31,038.84. Of that, the County of Renfrew share is $25,830, the balance being from the participating townships, being Edmundston, Bromley, and Horton. So we're happy to have them participate with us at some cost savings, and that follows the report. If there's any questions.
Thank you for that. I will go back to item number 1, winter operations, and the table 1 and the winter operations, the 5-year summary at the back. Member from Arnprior.
Thank you, Chair. I'm curious on the amount of salt we used as compared to years in the past. I remember a couple of years ago we made a contract with someone in Windsor to get X amount of salt when it was at premium. Do we still have that in reserve?
Mr. Bolduc.
Yes, through you, Chair Doncaster, to Councillor Lynch. So we have one more year left on our salt contract. We're lucky to negotiate a 5-year contract that actually carried us through some very volatile years. A lot of salt contracts were up in the 26% range of increases. So we have 1 year left. I met with our salt contractor recently, and I'm working on a proposal coming up, either re-tendering or proposal to extend, most likely in this fall.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Chair. When you're talking about tendering, are you going to ask our other municipalities to join with your cost of that?
Through the chair to Councillor Lynch. So the salt contract always includes a clause to that the salt contractor is to extend the same pricing to its lower tiers. Some have chosen to participate. Some closer to Ottawa actually get a cheaper price because our price is a combined price for all 4 of our locations, including Barry's Bay, Whitewater Road here near Pembroke. So some of the transportation costs are higher than what the lower tiers would look at, but typically I have a discussion with all the municipalities in the county, and if it's advantageous to them, they do participate.
Okay, thanks for that. Anything else on item number 1? Item number 2, street sweeping. Item number 3, the fleet management. A, the wheeled excavator. B, the light duty pickup truck. C, the dual drum vibratory roller. And item number 4, the quotes and tenders for the information on the street sweeping and the Catch basin maintenance. Member, nope, okay. Can I get a mover and seconder for the adoption of the report as a whole? Moved by the member from Madawaska Valley, seconded by the member from the McNabb Braeside. Any random comments or questions? Pardon me? Oh, yeah, well, thanks for that. Yeah, I did, just in reference to the, I don't know what it was, 16 tenders that we had a look at there. It's encouraging to see the pricing that's coming in. I know we were kind of a little on edge when we got the first bridge tender back at the beginning of the year. And then you'll see that even the one tender in here that includes a lot of metal is over budget. So it seems to be metal that's driving it. So anyway, it's nice to see that, and nice to see that we're able to do either a little more work or continue to have a surplus. I'm not sure how that's going to work out. But just information purposes, so this document here contains about $9.5 million in spending. So that's what we did today. So anything further, member from Lawrence Valley?
Just a comment or a question. The Public Works capital projects, we have an estimate and we see the results of the tender. For these last two items in number 4, we don't have an estimate that's shown, and just curious as to whether those prices or quotes come in close to what we anticipated, and do we not show those, or what's the story on that, please?
Yeah, okay, good question. I believe they fall under operations, but we'll see. Yeah.
Yeah, so those items are rolled up into a larger budget. So they are in line with the previous years. So they do fall within the budgets, but it is an overall budget. So if you do look at the summary, they're actually rolled into some other items. So it is reported every month in the variance if you take a look, but it's rolled up into one of the other items.
Thank you.
The maintenance item.
Yep, that's good. Anything further? Okay, I'll call a question on adoption of the report as a whole. All those in favor? And that is carried. Any new business? Member from McNabb Braeside.
Thank you, Chair. So, being that we've received our final report on the winter season, we assume, right? Yeah. So I'd just like to take a moment to acknowledge and thank Mr. Balduke and his team of managers and operators and mechanics who, even though there was probably less snow, there was still plenty of events, to disturb their lives, their sleep, and having to put plans on hold to get out and clear the snow and make the road safe for all of our residents and those traveling through. So I'd just like to make that into a motion, to congratulate the operations department for a safe and effective snow clearing and ice management season.
Yes, thank you for that. Well done. Anything else from any member of the committee?
Can I get a seconder?
Oh, do you want to make that a motion?
Yeah, I would,
Okay.
actually.
Do I have a seconder for that? Member from Laurentian Valley. Any further comments? All those in favor? And that is carried. Okay. We don't have a closed meeting. The date of our next meeting will be Tuesday, June 11th, 2024. County Council on May 29th. I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by the member from Madawaska Valley, seconded by the member from McNabb Braeside. All those in favor? And that's carried. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everyone.